Mental health first aid. A couple of weeks ago, myself and a group of my colleagues from work, we attended a course on mental health first aid. It was delivered to us via Zoom and by a psychologist and by a member of St. John of God's Hospital. And the course itself, it originated from Australia. It's being taught in 23 different countries around the world. And I can't highly recommend everybody taking this course up. Over the course of the 2 days, at the beginning, we covered the statistics about mental health in Ireland over the last 20 years, and it was kind of distressing to see that back in 2007, 2008, there was a lot of people in mental distress. And when I think about those times, as a first aider, all we had was ABC. Airways, breathing and circulation, which you'd agree does not cut it when it comes to mental health. So what we did instead was we have a new procedure, and it's called ALGEE, ALGEE, and it's just an approach. The overall objective of the approach is to get a person who's in mental health distress, to get them in contact with a mental health professional, like their GP or a counsellor or the Samaritans or the hospital. So in it, right, we covered a lot of issues in it, from anxiety and depression to delusions, paranoia, schizophrenia, and my own thoughts on it. You see, like, depression and anxiety is something that we're all fighting, and we'll all be fighting it till the day we die. It doesn't become a real problem until something like a tragedy happens in your life. And we all know those people in our families and our community. They're the people they always have to be in control over whatever is going on. Everything has a place, everything in its place. And then there's those other people as well who are like just so laid back. They don't want to get involved. Non-participation is grand. And during the normal days, you know, we all live with it and we get on with it. However, when a tragedy strikes, usually it hits them the worst, in that the person who's always in control suddenly discovers they have no control whatsoever. And then you have the people who are so laid back suddenly realizing that they should have been copping on, you know. So, like, we all see it in everyday life. It's there, and we almost don't recognize it. We don't even see it. So what happens is, after a trauma like that, they stop sleeping, they stop looking after themselves, they stop talking to everybody, they stop engaging with everything, and you can just see them from a mile away. You can tell something is, that they're down, you know. And what can we do in those situations? Well, that's the whole purpose of this approach. Before you actually approach the person, it's good to have a bit of background information on the person. If you know that person very well, if you know what set it off in the first place, or if you might know if they've got if they're taking any medication, or if you don't know that person, you know, it would be good to take somebody aside, or somebody that person knows and trusts, and take them aside and just say, you know what, we're going to have to approach this lady or this gentleman, and you know, we'll have to have a talk with them and just see how he is. Also, for your own health and safety, you have to say to yourself, look, if I'm going to go into this situation, you have to balance yourself out. You have to you have to find a bit of calm in yourself. We've all got our issues. We have to set them aside. And also, if we have a work schedule, something else to be doing, we have to decide, we have to make time for this. This is going to take, if this takes half a day to organise and sort out, then so be it. So the A, the approach, assess and assist with any crisis. Okay, so what you're doing there is you have to approach the person first, and you have to say, look, we see you're in a bit of distress. Is there anything we can do for you? Are you all right? Is there anything I can do? And of course, naturally enough, the first thing they're going to say is, I'm fine. Look, everything is okay. Like, let's get on with it. I'm okay. I'm fine. That's not going to cut it. You're just going to have to be a little bit persistent. You don't have to directly say, well, by God, Johnny, you're in awful distress, and I'm not leaving you until you tell me exactly what it is. It might work, but might be easier to invite them to go outside for a walk, get a bit of fresh air, or maybe invite them inside and have a cup of tea with them. Or maybe have an issue with your car or your house or whatever, and ask them to give you a hand doing it. And sure enough, once you strike a conversation with them, you don't have to ask them directly. If there's something on their mind, it'll come out. And that leads us on to the L in algae, and that is listen and communicate non-judgmentally. So what does that mean? Listening non-judgmentally and communicating non-judgmentally basically means that I forget everything about what I'm thinking and worrying about, my own judgments, and just give myself the time to listen to this person and the issues they're going through. In a way, you have to walk a mile in their shoes for a while. Just see what is going on in their lives. And, whatever they come out with, you can't just fob them off and say, Ash, that's ridiculous, or, what would your parents be thinking if you said something like that, or, you have to let them tell you exactly what it is that's troubling them. And, for example, if it's a very serious issue, and they do come at you with something very serious, you're liable to lose your own balance. So the best thing you can do is just listen, let them say what they have to say, and then say to them, that's pretty heavy stuff you're saying. Do you know what? We're going to have to talk to somebody professional about this issue. Would it be okay? I hear what you just said there, and it really hurt my heart when I heard you say that. But look, I'm here for you. We're going to work this out, okay? And that leads you on to the next one, G. And that's basically give support and information. So you just say to them, look, I'm here for you. We're going to have to call somebody professional. When was the last time you spoke to your GP? Okay. When was the last time you spoke? Perhaps maybe you wanted to speak to the Samaritans or somebody about that. Or perhaps maybe we should go to see A&E. Which would you prefer? Would you, might be a little too much to send them to the hospital, but they might agree to the idea of calling their GP. Or the Samaritans. The Samaritans number is 116123, and it's free, and you just have to get them to call that number. The E is encourage appropriate professional help. Appropriate means I'm not qualified to deal with the issue. We have to talk to a qualified medical professional, and those people are waiting to be called, waiting for that phone call, and they're prepared, and they will take that person and, medically assess them and take it from there. And then, that issue will have been resolved. Finally, it just says there, encourage other supports, and that could mean encouraging them to maybe talk to their family about it, or maybe talk to their friends, or even encourage them to talk to you, or maybe get in contact with the support group like the GA, the Scouts, the Rangers, perhaps. We don't know. But mental health, it's a lot like tooth decay, right? If you're not talking about your issues regularly, they're only going to fester in your mind. And if you let them, if you let them take over your mind, you know, you lose your grasp of reality, and things start going downhill from there. So that's all I have to say tonight. Take care.